We meet again at last. The circle is now complete. When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master.
Greetings, Cosmic Core. Mike here with Sci-Fi and more, and welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, welcome to our Sci-Fi family. One of the great actors of our time that voiced one of the most iconic cinema villains from a galaxy far, far away that touched multiple generations has transformed into the living force. Sadly, James Earl Jones, the voice of Darth Vader, the very first Dark Lord of the Sith all of us had ever seen, passed away on September 9th, 2024. And I have to tell you, in 1977, when I saw the stormtroopers blast their way into the rebel ship at the beginning of Star Wars, I thought at the time the stormtroopers were literally the coolest thing that I had literally ever seen. Had I just known that just moments later, this larger-than-life commanding figure, all adorned in black, with a black helmet and a black face mask, walked through the blasted door into the smoke-filled corridor of the rebel ship in relentless pursuit of the Rebel Alliance to reclaim the stolen Death Star plans. And then he spoke. Wow. Since the age of 7, when I saw Star Wars for the first time during its initial release, I have been a massive Star Wars fan. And a good portion of that has to do with the character of Darth Vader. And there was just no way in good conscience that I couldn't do a tribute video to James Earl Jones, who brought this iconic character to life. And since this is a special tribute video, I will be posting on both of our channels, Sci-Fi and More and Sci-Fi and More Fun News. So, let's all become one with the Force while we pay a tribute to the late James Earl Jones.
We would be honored if you would join us.
James Earl Jones was an American actor known for his film roles and for his work in the theater. Jones has been described as one of America's most distinguished and versatile actors for his performances on stage and on screen, and has also been referred to as one of the greatest actors in American history. From the age of 5, Jones was raised by his maternal grandparents on their farm in Dublin, Michigan, following their move from Mississippi. He found his transition traumatic and developed such a severe stutter that he refused to speak. His English teacher, a man named Donald Crouch, played a pivotal role in helping him to read poetry aloud in his class after discovering Jones's talent for writing poetry. In 1949, James Earl Jones graduated from Dixon Rural Agricultural School in Brethren, Michigan, where he was vice president of his class. And after high school, he then enrolled and attended the University of Michigan as a pre-med major and joined the Reserve Officer Training Corps. After his junior year at Michigan, he shifted his focus from pre-med to drama and graduated in 1955 with a Bachelor of Arts degree majoring in drama. Hail to the victors valiant, James Earl Jones. Let's go blue. With the war in Korea intensifying, James Earl Jones expected to be deployed after receiving his commission to second lieutenant. While awaiting orders, he worked at the Ramsdale Theater in Manistee, Michigan. However, Jones was commissioned in mid-1953 after the Korean War had ended. And because of that, he attended Infantry Basic Officers School at Fort Benning, where he had completed Ranger School and earned his Ranger tab. He was assigned to Headquarters Company 38th Regiment Combat Team, but instead of reporting to Fort Leonard Wood, his unit was sent to establish a cold weather training command at the former Camp Hale near Leadville, Colorado, where his battalion trained in the Rocky Mountains. Jones did receive a promotion to first lieutenant before he was discharged. As mentioned, James Earl Jones began his acting career at the Ramsell Theater in Manistee, Michigan, where he had worked as a stage carpenter in 1953 and as an actor and stage manager between 1955 and 1957, where he played Othello in his first acting season there, while also appearing in the ABC radio anthology series Theater 5. But in 1957, he made his Broadway debut as an understudy in the play The Egghead by Molly Kaza, which ran for 21 performances. And in January of 1958, he took on the featured role of Edward the Butler in Dory Sherry's Sunrise at Campobello at the Court Theater in New York. During the early to mid-1960s, James Earl Jones became one of the most renowned Shakespearean actors, playing roles such as Othello, King Lear, Oberon in A Midsummer Night's Dream, and Claudius in Hamlet. And finally, he made his film debut in Stanley Kubrick's 1964 classic, Dr. Strangelove. That's right, Darth Vader first appeared in Dr. Strangelove. But even though Dr. Strangelove was his first film, and unquestionably just a fun movie, it wasn't until 1970 when Jones took on his first leading role in an adaptation of The Great White Hope, portraying boxer Jack Johnson, a role he had previously played before on stage. This was his breakout role. His acclaimed performance earned him an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor, making him the second African-American male performer to be nominated in this category after Sidney Poitier. Variety praised his performance as an eye-riveting experience. But the big one happened in 1977, when James Earl Jones debuted as the iconic voice of Darth Vader in George Lucas's blockbuster film, Star Wars. He reprised this role a couple of times, in 1980 with The Empire Strikes Back, and in 1983 with Return of the Jedi. While David Prowse portrayed Vader in costume, Jones dubbed the character's dialogue in post-production because David Prowse's strong English West Country accent was deemed too unsuitable by George Lucas.
You are part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor. Take her away.
You are part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor. Take her away.
When director George Lucas was searching for that bass voice for Darth Vader as he was casting for Star Wars, he reportedly considered Orson Welles for the voiceover role, but felt that Orson Welles' voice just might be a little too recognizable. So he called Jones's agent and asked if the actor would like a day's work. Now, initially, Jones requested to not be credited for his work as the voice of Darth Vader for the first two Star Wars films. He later agreed to be credited for the third film, Return of the Jedi, and for the 1997 special edition re-release of the first film. In a 2008 interview, Jones explained his reasoning for this, and he compared his work to the role of Mercedes McCambridge's uncredited voice work as the devil in The Exorcist. He considered himself as special effects, but eventually accepted that his voice had become strongly identified with the character.
I looped it like an actor would voice, what do you call it, lip syncing. But there was no lip, so I was lucky. I just watched his body language. And in the second one, Kirshner, because by now David Prowse knew his voice was not going to be used, so he just sort of threw the lines in. And Kirshner gave me a soundtrack with him doing the voice of Darth Vader. Kirshner's voice is like this, and I'm imitating him badly. But it was scary as hell. Kirshner was scarier than I could ever be. I remember the second, when George had a chance to counsel me, he said, we don't know what we did right, so let's just try what we did. And naturally, I wanted to make Darth Vader more interesting, more subtle, more psychologically oriented, and so he said, no. What we're finding out is you got to keep his voice on a very narrow band of inflection, because he ain't human, really. So that was the answer.
After Return of the Jedi and the conclusion of the original trilogy, James Earl Jones lent his voice again to the Star Wars franchise in 2005 with Star Wars Episode III, Revenge of the Sith. And in more recent years, when the character of Darth Vader has been reprised, so too did James Earl Jones bring the voice back to the character of Darth Vader, both in movies and in television. Like the 2016 Star Wars film Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, a 3-word cameo in the film The Rise of Skywalker, Season 1 of the Disney Plus show Obi-Wan Kenobi, and a multitude of Star Wars animated shows such as Star Wars Rebels, The Clone Wars, and Forces of Destiny. In addition to additional video games and other media that James Earl Jones had occasionally lent his voice to within the Star Wars franchise. His distinctive voice has been instrumental in bringing Darth Vader to life across various media beyond the original films for decades. Over the course of his illustrious career, James Earl Jones received a number of accolades, including 2 Primetime Emmy Awards, 2 Tony Awards, a Grammy Award, a Golden Globe Award, and the Screen Actors Guild Lifetime Achievement Award. He was also honored with the Academy Honorary Award in 2011. Jones is one of only a few performers to achieve what's called the EGOT, which means winners of an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony. Additionally, he was inducted into the American Theater Hall of Fame in 1985 and honored with the National Medal of Arts in 1992, the Kennedy Center Honors in 2002, and the Screen Actors Guild Lifetime Achievement Award in 2009. And in a very fitting tribute, in March of 2022, Broadway's Court Theater was renamed the James Earl Jones Theater in his honor. James Earl Jones passed away at his home in Pawling, New York on September 9th, 2024 at the age of 93. CNN issued a statement noting that Jones had been the iconic voice of the network for decades, expressing his ability to convey authority, grace, and decorum through his speech. CNN highlighted that his memorable voice is one of many aspects the world will miss about him.
This is CNN.
In addition to numerous members of the entertainment industry paying tribute to Jones on his career and his influence on the film industry, the Empire State Building in New York City was lit up to look like Jones's iconic Darth Vader villain from Star Wars. And Jones's alma mater, the University of Michigan, paid tribute to him by posting the We Are Michigan video, narrated by Jones on X, which we have for you here at the end of the video. From Dr. Strangelove to Star Wars, Roots, The Next Generations, The Lion King, The Hunt for Red October, and all the movies and characters in between, thank you for all the wonderful memories, Mr. Jones, and may the Force be with you.
This is the University of Michigan.
What a football game we're going to have here this afternoon.
You are looking live at a sold-out 103,000
Michigan Stadium in Ann Arbor.
This football game from Ann Arbor.
The nation will rock with the praises of the maize and blue this evening.
Where we respect integrity and honor excellence.
The jubilation and cheering long into the night. Here come the Wolverines.
We are loyal Wolverines.
Today, your football team is number one in the country, and it's all right here.
Standing for Midwestern values, hard work, determination, and an enthusiasm unknown to mankind.
The old season is over. It's going to be Michigan again.
We are the best university in the world. Students and athletes and professors achieving at the highest level.
You better believe it.
This is our legacy
Go blue.
and our future. We are proud members of the Big Ten Conference in pursuit of national championships.
We'll win this championship.
We have won more games than any team in the country. No one has won more. We believe in football. Championship football.
He hands off to Shellerford.
Michigan touchdown.
Shoelaces dropping in the wind.
We shy away from no challenge or opponent. We bow to no man. We bow to no program. We are Michigan.